one thing that I took away from the course, the most important one, was definitely that marketing is about creating an emotion. It's not only about enhancing your presence and your perception about your company or your product or service, but it's really about creating an emotion because that's what's selling.
I tend to be more of a hermit. So the minute that you were like, oh, I'm assigning groups, I was like, oh God, this is my worst nightmare because I have to work with people that I'm not familiar with.
I love that. You don't? I'm on the other side, receiving this information and then communication like, I know you will overcome that. Hello, everyone. This is Jay Panchwani, and I welcome you to the podcast on sustainable marketing. We are going to talk about course content and course feedback with our students. So we have in our studio today...
Hi guys, I'm Elvin and I study international business at YUMC.
Hi, I'm Ashley and I also study international business at YUMC.
And I'm Mickey and I'm also studying international business at YUMC.
Thank you so much, everyone, and welcome to the podcast. So my first question to you is about, can you each share your key takeaways from the course? What concept or topics left a lasting impact on you?
Yeah, so basically for me, the marketing is in every aspect in my life and I see it everywhere. But for this course, I liked really that we had basics of this marketing that was really eye-opening and I got to see like a different views of the marketing that I am consuming every day. And for me, the most interesting topic was the greenwashing topic. Because it's not like visible. So for me to getting depth into that was like really, really eye-opening. And like for me to know that what I'm buying is really important. Yeah. So that was really interesting topic in
Very
that
good
case.
To know that. Very good to know. Yes, I think greenwashing is something that we should be exploring more, understanding more carefully. And of course, we have the consumer rights to ask and inquire. How about you, Ashley?
My key takeaways are also the processes of marketing, but it was also interesting to see like the process of PR management because we see it happening, but we don't really understand behind the scenes and all the effort that kind of goes into managing and the PR stuff. Yeah. And also the importance of kind of like greenwashing because it's not raised to our attention on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And we're kind of left in the dark, especially with major companies.
And that's a very important aspect of this course as well. Very good. Yeah. Mickey.
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, I think you did a really good job with kind of diversifying the whole course because you gave us information about all types of marketing, whether it's direct marketing, whether it's public relations. So you gave us a bit of a sneak peek to each and one of those, and you gave us the opportunity to choose from them, regardless of what we already knew or what we want to pursue in the future. So yeah, that's the first thing. But I think what resonated with me the most was the greenwashing or the whole environmental impact, because you gave us some interesting data about it.
Yeah.
And I was frankly surprised because we all know that there is some environmental crisis there. Yeah. We don't really know it into that depth. Yeah.
And from the teaching point of view, when you are promoting all those marketing concepts, but you have to be very fair as well that how we should apply that.
Yeah.
And what has been the applications or how companies have been doing that before and what is the future, because from the teaching point of view, we believe the future is you and you are the next generation taking over the companies and offices. So your minds are to be very transparent in that sense as well. Very good to know about this old concept that you're talking about. So how do you see yourself applying those marketing principles or topics or concept that you learned in this course in your future career or any kind of a career project that you foresee?
Well, if I may.
Go for it.
I think one thing that I took away from the course, the most important one, was definitely that marketing is about creating an emotion, right? It's not only about enhancing your presence and your perception about your company or your product or service. But it's really about creating an emotion, because that's what's selling at the end of the day. That's what it is all about, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, I think once you know this, then it really opens up a lot of doors to you, and you can really use it in the future. It can give you a competitive advantage, and that's a really good thing to know.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. Very well pointed out, Mickey.
I think for me, it's really important to know who your target audience is, because knowing your target audience affects how you're going to portray the emotions, like Mickey said, and like what you're going to use to reach your audience and promote your products or services. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're pointed out very, very interesting areas, because at some stage we need to be transparent, and it's good. It's completely fair, you know. And we have been, I think, talking about before that, you know, many of the companies are now coming up with the product which are not repairable. You know, that's one area where we need to decode it. And the consumers are supposed to be getting awareness about it. And we have to be very, very much on the toes to understand this, because we are the educationists, and we know we have to apply that. How it was in the past, how is the future coming up? So these areas are also emerging, isn't that, Alvin? What do you think about that?
No, I agree. Like it's a kind of like a trap that products are not like long lasting anymore, and that the consumers would buy more, and that was like in the old days where things lasted long. That's why maybe as a consumers we have to think the ways of how to make it more long lasting in when we use it, and lean more towards recycling of that.
I think very interesting area about you just mentioned about consumerism, and we did talk about that as well. You know, it has been amazing and tremendous improvisation in the marketing activities when it comes to sell more. And then there are numerous events which are pushing the limits, even, you know, allowing consumer to buy more. Talk about Black Friday is coming very soon, for example. You know, the concept about how Black Friday is going to impact and how marketing activities are being applied in there, for example, as well. Yeah, very good. But coming back to the course, now I'm going to talk about content and delivery. So how did you find the balance between the theoretical concept and the practical application of the course?
Well, I thought it was really good, the whole programming of the course, because you basically, how it works is that you gave us knowledge, and then you gave us a chance to apply the knowledge in the project, right? So that's the best way to put it, I would say. So
Yeah, I would say the same. And for example, you made the slides and then you explain it from that. And the slides were really like basically pinpointed, very easy to understand. And you explaining with the real life examples and everything made it more understandable. And I feel like the balance between practical and theoretical part was just perfect for this course.
Yeah. I think every topic which we were doing in the class, actually, we were kind of applying in the next half of it.
Yeah, we were. And it's like, well, the topic that we learned for the day was everything kind of just applied to the last assignment. Yeah. It just led up to the last assignment. So when it came to the last assignment, it wasn't stressful. And all we had to do was just like make the video, edit the video, because we had all the information from each class, because you also had made us do like in-class activities after like the lecture, which was extremely helpful.
Yeah, good to know that. You know, teachers are always on the toes, looking at the eyes of the student that, okay, if we are moving from this part to the next part, how is going to be student receiving at the other end? And thankfully, you know, we have a great audience, by the way, this time. Mm-hmm. I think I would call not audience, but I will say students, because I believe in this student-centric approach, not the customer-centric approach, because student-centric approach is very important for the teacher. And I think being a teacher, we get the energy from your facial and emotions and eyes, that how you are receiving the information and how should we improvise it and better support that. Great. Thank you so much for providing this perspective. We did have workshop sessions as well, if you remember. And how did workshop help you? Was it productive in that sense, and along with the peer
Yeah.
assessment?
It was really helpful because, like Ashley also said, like the final was the project, and we just had to do the project and video and editing, and those workshops helped us in to reach the target and the final project. So in that case, it was really helpful, and I like when the teacher is basically putting us into the like the path, and then just let us work through that. And it's nice that teacher is actually putting a time for that also. It's just not a lecture, but it's also the in-class activity or the workshop. So it was really helpful and good thing.
Yeah, I agree. And it was within just one class session. So it wasn't like we had another hour of workshop, which could have been draining. Because, not gonna lie, we started pretty early in the morning.
We did.
So the workshops were like placed at it was like perfect timing because it doesn't necessarily have to be a long workshop. It's just we get the stuff done, we get the information we need, bam, and then final assignment.
Yeah.
The thing I found really helpful was basically you're working on one project in one group, and you kind of lose the perception of what's actually good or bad because you're always thinking about it. You know, you have these ideas. So it was really helpful to get insights from somebody else than just our group that saw the project for the first time, and they had interesting points to pinpoint. So yeah, I think they really pushed us forward and helped us in developing the project further.
Yeah, the peer review in that way, you know, and you were reviewing the peer team, and then of course if some of the teams is lacking in some concept understanding, so it always gave a push that hey, they are doing very good. Why don't we try that, you know, and improvise it in that sense as well.
Not gonna lie, reading reviews, you can't help but feel butthurt half the time.
Yeah, definitely. I would say, yeah, it was a bit challenging to read them, but then it really made sense. For example, when I checked my video, in my mind, it's perfect. It's ready. It's perfect. But when I see the reviews, I was like, okay, maybe something should be like this. And maybe we could do this way. But at the end, those reviews help, and then I can improve myself in the next upcoming projects.
Yeah, I think these reviews, as Ashley talked about and when you mentioned, I mean, they are creating a resilience as well in ourselves. Like, think about the future.
Definitely thickening our skin for sure.
Think about the future. For example, we are going to work with the companies and with different kind of a group and teams, and then we are going to receive the feedbacks on our concept. No matter, you know, we always feel like our baby is the best. Our project is amazing, and we should feel about that.
Yes,
we should be proud about that. But then it's always nice to see that how is the opinions traveling, and are there any kind of areas where we can improvise it in that sense as well. And I was also reviewing all of your comments and especially Nikki's one comment that I'm going to talk about this later.
We almost started a beef there. So.
maybe we know.
So it was very, very, very good to know. Good to know that how encouraging this activity was. Great. Good thing about that. Yeah. So did you find collaborative elements? You know, how do you come out of the shell, like being yourself and then working with different fellows and with different countries and cultures and different expectations? How did you overcome with the challenges and also some benefits, for example, if you had any with the team members? Would you like to talk about that?
Well,
You go.
well, like first, because we did the groups in the first session. So with our first lecture and right away groups were first really intimidating. I was like, oh, already we are starting this. This is our one of the first courses and then first sessions. But like I come from the background that I'm used to work with the different ethnicities, different kind of people and cultures. So for me, it was really easy to adapt. But obviously the group project itself working with different individuals, actually planning the dates or planning the times were a bit tough. But I feel like when everyone contributed, especially in my group, when everyone contributed equally, it made it more easier. And because in my group, luckily everyone was here already, it was much easier to do things face to face and more flexible. So I did not. I think it was very, very easy to work. And like we came to study international business and we wanted to meet, different people, cultures. So it was really good and I liked it.
Yeah, I think very good, that you shared about that your feelings when you interacted. And I must let audience know that, we had a course and of course we had online folks as well.
Yeah.
And that was an interesting part as well because we were working and collaborating together. And I had, Alvin, by the way, always an opportunity to leave to the student to make their groups.
Yeah.
But I said, like, let's go with...
You're the only one from the courses.
But yeah, nice to know that. Yes, let's hear some
For me, because I tend to be more of a hermit. So the minute that you were like, oh, I'm assigning groups, I was like, oh God, this is my worst nightmare because I have to work with people that I'm not familiar with. But I got over it. And working with people from different ethnicity wasn't too much of an issue for me because where I'm from, it's very multicultural. So you kind of get the exposure to different cultures and different, I guess, I can't remember the word.
But
You
you're
get
from
the point.
Australia, right? You just saying.
Yeah.
Okay. And
So there's a lot of different cultures, like different parts of Asia, different parts of Europe, just all over the world.
Yeah.
But but the issue with group projects is sometimes I had to wrestle with my group mates to get information off them for the final project, which was annoying because I'll be like, it's due tomorrow. Please send me your videos. I need it.
Yeah.
I need the time to
The deadlines and then working for the deadlines and every
I need to edit
second
everything and I need to do all this and do all that. Just please give me something.
It's a hustle.
It was definitely a hassle.
I love that. You don't? I'm on the other side, receiving this information and communication. Like, I know you will overcome that.
It was like the WWE almost, like just trying to get information out of someone.
But these mix of emotions are so interesting. And it's always a topic to talk.
I'll say that's definitely like one of the biggest pros in studying abroad, especially in Finland, is the multicultural environment that you can experience. Because frankly, I don't think studying business in Czech, I would experience this type of environment. So that's really good.
And I think Czech has also very international environment and visiting there.
Yeah.
And of course, but luckily, in Finland we have a lot of multiculturalism, and we are kind of very happy to know that. And today on the table, if we can see, we are on the majority. but yeah, we have a lot of local students as well, and amazing. They love it as well with the international students as well. How would you see? Now that you are here, you have completed the course, what are the future direction that you would like to highlight, or the direction that you would like to see probably maybe in the future as well? Because as we said, we are working on understanding more this environmental and sustainability issues very carefully, and how companies are approaching that, and educating ourselves and the future generation as well. So what is the future direction you foresee, and you would like to ask me or us, for example, to add some topics or some areas that you think are encouraging?
I would say the add topic would be like we could get more depth into social media marketing and little bit more time on that. Maybe one more session about that, because it's really like shaping the world today and the marketing in social media part. Yeah. So I would like to see more depth to that, and maybe like this group project is good because it took like every aspect of the marketing, but maybe like a little bit something towards that as well. like those kind of things. That's the interest. Also, it's an interesting topic, and I'm sure lots of people are interested in that and doing their careers based on that. So it will be nice to see more depth to that.
Very good point. That focusing a little more on the social media campaigning in that way as well, and then definitely very good point here. Yeah. So any other topic you think about, do you think that sustainability topics and environmental topics that we talked about could have been more emphasized or?
Yeah, I said it in the session 9 feedback as well on Moodle that I really like that you included this topic in the marketing class, which I frankly wouldn't expect, to be honest. But looking back at it, I think marketing is one of the main tools to kind of fight the environmental crisis. And as you said in the beginning, we are the generation that really goes into the books, and it's up to us whether we want to go into the books in a good way or a bad way, right? So that's a really important topic, even though I wouldn't really expect it to be in this course.
Yeah, I really get that, and I would definitely, including Elvin's point and Mickey, yours point, and other course feedback that you have written as well. We're going to add this topic and extend it more and see how we can apply this well again, in our projects. Yeah.
Pretty much what both they said.
Yes. That's a classroom answer.
Yeah, I think they covered it perfectly. I don't really have much to add on to it.
Yeah. I completely agree. These topics, even if we explore it and expand it, they are itself, offering a lot of a course, for example. And we have a specialized, by the way, course as well. And I'm glad that you are actually taking this interest and we will be working and see how we can offer more on our social media, emphasizing on digital marketing and applying that as well. And that's the future as well, and how sustainability can play a role into that area as well, into the traditional and digital marketing as well. Great. Hey everyone, thank you so much for taking time out for this podcast, and I appreciate that.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Jay.
Thank you.